Well, it's November 12th today, and Kyle and I are loaded up. We got the 1980s truck camper on the back of the truck, and we're headed to Kansas. This is our first time heading to Kansas. I've never hunted it. Kyle's never hunted it. And we're just going to be running around on public. You know, I've been seeing a lot of things in a bunch of the Facebook groups this year talking about how pressured Kansas is lately and how overhunted it is. And we drew the tags this year. We're going to go give it a try. Hopefully we find some good deer. Well, we've been driving around since 7 o'clock this morning. We actually slept in a Walmart parking lot last night and weathered the storm this morning. So I had some heavy rains last night. Now we pulled up to this piece of walk-in, and there's a big drainage back in here. You can't see it from the road. I think it might be an overlooked spot with a bunch of cedars in there and a CRP on the backside from what I can tell on the map. But we're just gonna go kind of get up on top of this ridge, see if we can't see down into that drainage, see if it looks good, and mark it. Today we're just kind of spending all day today, probably all day tomorrow, just driving around, checking all these walk-in spots, seeing where the people are, just trying to figure out what looks good, what doesn't, and we'll go from there later this week when we decide where we finally want to go climb into. But what we have been noticing is that nobody else around here is sitting with a 1980s truck camper on the back of their truck, so we should have the advantage at the public land.
Day 2 in Kansas. It's starting out. We're battling finding people and people camping next to us. So yesterday, pretty much our first day, it was raining all day. So we drove around for 12 hours yesterday, kind of just getting a feel for the pressure, checking out spots that we had e-scouted, seeing how they were looking. We got a handful of spots that they look pretty good. There's some people at them, but we're not really too shied away from the people. So, and today we had a handful of spots left to check. Those ones actually, a couple of them turned out pretty good. So this morning we seen not on the public, but not too far off the public, we spotted a really nice buck. So, and he was heading back towards the public. So I think tonight we're gonna head in there and see if we can't either see him or get a crack at him. But it's kind of a shot in the dark. Don't know where he went, but he headed towards the public. So
our first sit in Kansas. Feels good to finally be out of the truck. Dan and I have been in that truck for almost going on a day and a half straight. We spent the first full day we got here just driving around, checking out all these public lands. Feels good to be in a tree in Kansas. Hopefully something will work, but unfortunately, tonight's probably not that night. We got in here a little bit later than we would like, just because we were scouting. Had to cross a creek that we didn't know we had to cross. Luckily, it was shallow enough, and we got a visitor with us for this afternoon hunt. A farm dog around here. I don't know, somehow linked up with us from the walk-in, and he hasn't left since, so this hunt's pretty much a kibosh tonight, but I guess we got everything set up for the morning, I guess. I don't know what to think, but regardless, we're just gonna sit and enjoy the night and and hopefully somehow a miracle happens.
Bet.
Are you freaking kidding me, dude? What in the world? That ain't the big one, but I don't even care, dude. He's a great bug. Great bug. Freaking our second sit, dude. No way. You couldn't have drew that up any better.
I don't even know where to start, man. What an unbelievable year I'm having. Just truly blessed. I never in 1,000 years would I think I would have a year like this. And coming down to Kansas here, after punching 2 tags already, I was mostly kind of coming down here and going to treat it as a learning mission. I really didn't think that on our second sit here in Kansas, I would punch my tag, and it unfolded. How we drew it up. Yesterday we had a little bit of a, what do you want to call it, a circus of a sit. We had one of the farmer's dogs come sit at the base of the tree with us, the same tree that I shot him out of. We ended up seeing some deer and was a little surprised by that, but nonetheless, we really didn't think we were going to have the morning that we had this morning. Started out out on the neighbor's field, we could see some does and could see a couple small bucks running them around. And all of a sudden I looked up one time and I could see a couple big-bodied deer, and sure enough there was 2 good bucks that decided to join the party down there, but they were quite a ways off. We tried rattling at them and it was too far for them to either hear us or they just didn't acknowledge us. But not long after that we had a real big buck step out onto the private about 80 yards from us, and we figured he was probably pushing that 170 range, and we definitely weren't expecting to see that. But he kind of worked off. He didn't want nothing to do with our calling, or I grunted at him a couple times, and I even tried tickling the antlers together a little bit, but he didn't want nothing to do it. He ended up just working off, and it wasn't 10 minutes later, maybe 10-15 minutes later, we seen a buck kind of coming from the direction that the bigger buck came from, and we thought it was maybe him coming back, but lo and behold, it was this guy. Way too good of a buck for me to pass on public ground here, so I am tickled to death. Like I said, I don't have many words. It's just the year that I'm having. I don't know what it is, but so thankful for it. And we have, I think, 10 days left here in Kansas for Dan to punch a tag. So we know there's some big ones running around. So we're probably going to get this guy taken care of the rest of the day. And we'll be back in here tomorrow. So hopefully Dan can punch his Kansas tag. And I guess we'll roll home to Wisconsin and gun season will be in. But quite honestly, I think I'm just going to sit gun season out this year and reminisce on the year that I'm having and call it a year. So just, it's, yeah, so thankful. And thank you, Dan, for coming along on this trip. And it's been a blast so far, obviously, and hopefully there's more good stuff to come. But thank you to my wife back home and taking care of our little boy once again. I know I say it all the time, but I can't thank her enough, and to let me do what I love to do. So hopefully we can tag out and we'll get back home to him.
You want a site that's built to last, has been proven, has a lifetime warranty, and is made right here in the USA. HHA makes sites for all archers, all skill levels, and for all users. Whether you're flinging arrows in the backyard or going on the trip of a lifetime, trust isn't built overnight. It's built by being number one for decades. HHA.
Well, it's the evening of November 30th. Got Isaac in a tree filming me. He just got back from Wisconsin this afternoon. We're set up on a piece of public I hunted in about a week. We're sitting over a cornfield. This corn on this piece just got cut within the last 5 days. And looks like there's a decent amount of standing food too, so just figured with this being freshly cut and it being really cold, these deer are going to be out in this field tonight. So I'm also going to be really cold because I forgot my main jacket, my top jacket. I packed all my stuff into Brennan's bag today and then realized it wasn't my bag and switched everything over, and I forgot my top layer. So it's 24 degrees out this evening. It's definitely going to get colder. So main objective is going to be staying warm tonight and then kill a big buck. There's a nice 10-point that's been running around in here. Got him on a couple cameras the last few days. We got a wind that it's okay to hunt deer. This is really the only spot you can hunt with the northwest. So we're going to give it a shot. We got probably 2 hours till it gets dark, so we're spending the next two hours curled up in a ball, just trying to stay warm. He's going to come out, dude. I know it. as a light year. And the deer we were in here after, we ended up seeing him. I figured he was bedding in that timber up against the river, but he was bedding a little closer than I thought. He was with a doe, probably, I don't know, 150, 200 yards down this edge. They just popped out a little bit ago, and man, if he wasn't with a doe, I think he would have came in tonight, but that doe ended up working the other way, and they worked off into the timber, which, man, it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me because all those other deer worked out this way, and they just came out and worked the opposite direction. But man, that's kind of how this season's been going for me. We've seen a lot of good bucks this year, just can't get them in bow range. They either got a doe or they're just too far. Feels good to see a big one like that, though. And a plan like ours tonight kind of come together. I mean, we laid eyes on them. Would like to get a shot at one here soon. We got a couple days left of archery season before shotgun one opens. Definitely will be back in here. Definitely be back on this field. Not sure how I would hunt it because he's seen the decoy setup now. I like this setup, but I don't know if he'd come in seeing it twice, but it's probably what we'll end up doing tomorrow. We got the wind for it. It's pretty much northwest winds the rest of the year, so